What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of New Parents in Training. So it's almost been 2 months now since I posted a video about me unboxing this Remington hair clipper and also doing my first haircut. So for this past 2 months, I've been using it. It's been really well. I have almost no issue. So today I'm just going to share with you some of my experience and tricks and tips on how to do self haircut. Now, by all means, I am not a professional barber. So if you are watching this, we're probably in the same boat that we're just kind of learning how to do self haircutting. So yeah, it's been really well. This little thing only costs less than $50. For the most recent pricing, just check out my link in the description down below. So it's ranged from like 40 something to just a little bit over 50, depending on the time period that you purchase it. So this being really well. It came with a bunch of clippers, but the ones I use quite a bit is number three and number four. Some of the things I really like about this clipper is for the past 2 months, I have not recharged it once. So when I unbox it, I fully charged it once, and then ever since then, I haven't even recharged it. So it's been 2 months. I cut roughly every 2 weeks. So it's been, I would say, 7 to 8 times now since I have used this. So every time I cut my hair, it's ranged from like 10 to 15 minutes or so. So you can imagine like it's over an hour long, and this thing still holds battery. So yeah, the battery life is pretty well. Um, Now let me share with you some of the tips and tricks I have self-discovered so far. Well, first of all, if you ever gone out to get a haircut from a stylist or barber, a lot of times they spray water on your hair before they cut your hair. Or sometimes they even shampoo your hair before they start cutting it, depending on the how high skilled that hairstylist that you go to. But so there's a reason for that. So my first tip would be like wash your hair before you start cutting your own hair. Some of you might be saying, wouldn't that be kind of redundant? Because after you cut your hair, then you have to wash your hair anyway. Now here, there's a reason for that. So a lot of time when we wake up, we have a pillow hair. So if you sleep on one side long enough, your hair is going to be kind of messed up in the sense that it's not as smooth as it was before you go to sleep, and your hair is kind of sticking out everywhere. It happens to a lot of people, and it happens to me too. And so on the clip that you will see that my hair is kind of sticking up. Now, sticking up is one thing, but what happens if the hair is like holding down, to your skull? When you're about to cut your hair and your hair is not in the natural position and it's being either cave in or sticking out, then you are not going to get a evenly cut hair. If you're cutting your own hair, you're probably at your bathroom sink. My strong suggestion for the first step is to just wash your hair really quickly. If you want, I mean, you can take a shower too. It's really up to you. So that way, once you wash your hair, dry it, and then your hair has become your natural position. And when you cut your hair, it's going to be much even as opposed to you haven't washed your hair. And if you shave, you will know that using warm water on your facial hair, it makes shaving much easier too. So that same apply to cutting your own hair. So for tip number two, I strongly suggest that this thing comes with a bunch of clippers, different sizes. So if you haven't cut your hair before, start out with the highest number and go from there. So once you figure out what your favorite number is, let that be on the top or on the side, then that's the number that you will go with. For my personal favorite, I have number three and number four. Now, I always start out with the higher number. So you just clip it on. And one, this thing is so great. It's just, you just go right ahead, kind of like more than long, and just go one, just go. What you do is you cut against where your hair grows. So for your front, you go down and then up. from your back, you go down and then up. Now, do it slowly, because my experience with this is every now and then, if I go too fast, I might pull a couple of hair. So you do it at home, so take your time. Don't do it too fast. Now again, what I would do is I start out with number 4. I cut the side from the side, top, and the back. After I have done all that, when I'm okay with the length of the hair, then I switch to number 3. Now what I do with number 3 is I want to, now my hair is kind of weird, like this on the side. No matter how many times I do it, like it just keeps sticking out. So I have to go a number lower in order to get some of the hair that's sticking out to cut it down. So what I would do with number 3 is I don't go through the entire hair. So I go from the back of my ear, like so, and then just go around. So I cut alongside of my ear. So that way I will cut just the side. So in terms of length, number 3 and number 4, if you messed up too much, it's not gonna be that noticeable. So don't jump your clipper number too much. So say if you're doing number 4 and if you want the side to be much shorter, you all of a sudden you jump to number 1, or just take out the clip entirely and then just cut it. I would strongly suggest you go down number 1 by 1 by 1. So then that way, if you do end up not liking the number you want, you can at least kind of salvage it. So just be mindful. This tip is just go down the number until you find the number that you really want, because you cannot pull back the hair you cut. You can always cut less, right? So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3, shaving your beard. Now, this thing is so great that not only it can cut your hair, you can also trim your beard, your mustache as well. I like a clean shaving. So as you can see from the video, I just went ahead and used the bare metal and just go on my skin and cut it. Now, this thing will not give you the clean shaving that you want. You also need to use a razor. Now, part of the reason why I will use this first and then a shaver is that when your facial hair is getting longer, it's kind of hard to shave just by using a razor. And also, I use the Gillette Mark III. The blades themselves are not cheap. Okay, the longer that your beard, the faster your blade's gonna get dull. So I want to get short as possible. Then I use this to shave it. So that way my blades can last longer and I don't have to change it all that frequently. Now, since we stuck at home, maybe this is all you need. You don't have to get a clean shaving because, well, what's the point? You're not going outside. You just trim some as you see fit. All right, tip number 4. I mentioned this in the unboxing video as well. That this thing, compared to the previous model, even though both of them use rechargeable batteries, this one actually lets you continue to use it when you're recharging it. So that's one of the great things I want from a clipper. Say if you're in the middle of your cutting your hair, and all of a sudden you feel battery is out, what are you gonna do? Like recharge and wait for it to finish recharging and then continue? You don't want to wait, right? Because you're in the middle of it. You want to finish as soon as possible. So see, right now this still has battery. Now this is the charger. You plug it in, the light blinks, but at the same time you can still use it. From what I understand, the previous model, when it is out of battery or when it is recharging it, then this thing will not even turn on. So this is great. So when you are out of battery, out of juice, just plug right back in and then just continue on. All right, so the last tip number 5 that I have is that, well, this thing is very useful, right? And is water protected, not water resistant. On my last video of unboxing, I also showed you how to clean it. So it is very important for you to maintain this clipper. So one of the things that I found that is very necessary is use the little brush that come with it. First, you brush the hair off before you put it under water and to rinse it. That way you can get more hair out of it. It seems like from what I have been using, if I don't use the brush first and then go straight under the water, yes, it will take out most of the hair, but for some reason, some of the hair will get stuck and it won't come out until this thing got dry, and then use the brush and it's come straight out. After you run it through the water, then you can take out the blade and run the inner part on through the water as well. I mean, I won't wash it too hard as this does have battery and whatnot in there and the motor. From what I understand, a lot of people having motor issue, but I haven't experienced on any of that, so I'm not quite sure. Maybe it's when they're washing the machine itself. When water gets in, that's how the motor get ruined. But so far, so good. And after that, let it dry for 24 hours before your next usage. Just take it apart and leave it. And for me, every time after I wash it, 24 hours later, it's get bone dry. After it gets really dry, then put it on. Use the little oil that they come with it, the lubrication. So what you do is just kind of put it on the top of the blade and then turn it on, so the oil will lubricate the entire front blade itself. So it will ensure that the blade will last much longer. So yeah, these are my tips and tricks, kind of like how to do cut your own hair. By all means, I'm not professional at this. I'm still in the learning process, but this is what I have found that has been very useful for me personally. So anyway, that's just my tips and tricks for cutting your own hair. And comment down below if you have any questions or if you have any suggestions how to go about cutting your hair better. I'm all ear. So anyway, hope you like this video. Don't forget to like, sub, and share. Until next time, bye.